the right cross. It kills me. I meet 5th-degree black belts and people who tell me all the things they've done all over the world and they don't know how to punch. The most effective means of me putting power into something, okay, projecting force without having a weapon in my hand, is the right cross, or left cross if you're left-handed. Nothing else even compares. Anyone who wants to argue the point with me, I think that they lack experience. Spencer gets into a good stance. Again, we work 20% effective power. Starts with a good stance. He's good there. The coaching points for this is he's going to keep his elbow in for as long as he can. He's going to rotate his shoulders all the way through, and he's going to retract it on the line. It doesn't really matter where my punch comes from, but it matters quite a bit where it comes back to. Okay, so 20% effective effort. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and even going light, I can feel 2 knuckles digging right into my sternum here. Even going light, if he punches me here, especially when I'm not ready, I have a problem on my hands. Okay, now taking it up the next level, our effective effort. 3 things I'm looking for. Okay, 3 things I'm looking for. I'm listening for breathing. I want to see relaxation in the muscle groups he's moving, and I want to see an aggressive focus. Those are 3 things I'm looking for. I'm only asking you to look for 3 when we're training each other. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. From the other side. Watch the rotation. Shoulder goes all the way through. He pulls back on a line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. What happens when he gets all that rotation, his hips, okay, the mass of his body, he's got his muscular system, he's got his skeletal system, and he's sending all of that mass in a chained, okay, kinetic movement that starts down at the ground. It is a throwing motion. Common mistakes are people will flare their elbows out to make this a thrusting motion using the flexors, using the extensors of the arms rather than the whole body. Okay. Now let's talk real quick about open-handed striking versus close-handed striking, and I want to dispel some things. This last year, I stopped teaching anything in Krav Maga I don't really believe in. Some of it is I just had enough, and some of it was getting him ready for level 2 instructor training when I was teaching him to slap kicks out of the air and pluck people's hands off when they're yanking you backwards by the neck. And just the look on his face, he was like, really? Do we really have to do this? Really? So we're not gonna do it. And I've stopped being politically correct and acknowledging people who say open-handed striking is just as important as close-handed striking, because it's not. Okay, it's not. Using the coaching points I just told you, that I just shared with you, when I go open-handed, first of all, the wrist articulates 6 ways, and I'm going to have a problem here with my wrist. Okay, on the striking side, I have a problem with my wrist. We tell you to modify it and turn it out, but now I have a problem with my technique because my elbow is out, and now I have a pushing motion rather than a throwing motion. Major league pitchers can get a fastball going over 100 miles an hour with a throwing motion. A shot putter is never going to be able to do that if his elbow is out. Okay. Open-handed strikes, people argue and say, you'll break your hand. Well, I'm going to punch low from here down. I'm not going to break my hand probably there. I'm going to have a problem from here up. People will say, I'll break my hand, I can't use a gun, I can't drive a car. Well, if you're at a point in your life where you're using parts of your body as impact weapons and accepting inbound as well, things have gone wrong. Things have gone bad, and you might break your hand. You might scratch your pinky finger, you might get your skull crushed. Okay? Anybody who thinks open-handed striking is important, I encourage them to do an experiment and to go to an MMA gym that's not even a Krav Maga school. Find 2 pro fighters, about the same size, training buddies, and pay them to do a 2-minute stand-up sparring match, hands only, but one of them has to go open-handed, and the other one has to go closed fist. The open-handed guy is going to want more money. I guarantee you. Try it. Don't take my word for it. He's going to want more money. Okay? He is. In sport combat, when there was an organization, Pancrase, where they did open-handed striking, and only one person was knocking people out, Boss Rutan. And he didn't learn how to do that from slapping people. My open-handed strikes are pretty good, but they're pretty good because I have a good right cross. That's the only reason. That's the only reason. So that is my spiel on open-handed versus closed close-fisted. People will say, military systems, they go open-handed. Bullshit. The military's got a lot of things to think about besides fist fighting. I don't think they have a preference. I think their preferences are the weapon systems they have. Okay, so I want to see right crosses or left crosses if you're lefty. I want you to make them as good as they can. I just want 10 and 10, and I'm going to get you moving. Okay, yes?
Yes.
It's very important that we can punch.